There is an entity, there is another creature, which, again, that was something people were fighting on, whether there should or shouldn't be something like that in the Backrooms. I was like, let me see the lore you attach to it before I pick a side, and dang did I love the lore they have attached with it, because I do think it would be more of a nothing burger movie.
You already know what I'm about to say. You felt it the first time you saw the trailer. That sick feeling in your stomach. Like something was being shown to you that you weren't supposed to understand. But you understood it anyway. And look, the Backrooms movie is in theaters now. And the mainstream reviews, confused, dismissive. They're calling it weird, pointless, even boring. But here's the thing nobody's saying out loud. They don't want you knowing what this movie really means. Because this isn't just a horror film about yellow hallways and flickering lights. Not even close. What Kane Parsons built here is something much darker, much more honest. And the fact that so many people are walking out of theaters scratching their heads, that's not an accident. Not an accident at all. Let me take you back to the opening scene. Found footage, grainy VHS, an Async employee walking through endless office carpet and buzzing fluorescent bulbs. And right away, within the first 60 seconds, the movie answers a debate that's been raging online for years. There is something in the Backrooms, an entity, a creature. And the way it moves, the way it watches, you already know what I'm about to say. That thing isn't random. That thing was put there for a reason. But before I get to that, let me tell you about Clark. He runs a furniture store, sleeps there sometimes because business is bad. He's got a wife he resents, a therapist he explodes at during a roleplay exercise. And when he finds that strange panel in the back room, those extra knobs that don't belong, he doesn't call anyone. He just goes in. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most critics are saying Clark's motivation is unclear. Why would a middle-aged furniture store owner keep walking back into a nightmare dimension? Because he wanted to. Because something in there felt more like home than his real life ever did. And I need you to stay with me here, because this is the part that's going to make you angry. The movie reveals that Async used to manufacture MRI machines. Then they discovered the Backrooms, or maybe they created it and shifted everything, all their resources, all their research. And here's what they don't tell you in the press interviews: and MRI works by reading the water molecules in your body, layering images, scanning you down to the cellular level, and then assembling a picture from fragments. Think about that. The Backrooms in this movie does the exact same thing. You walk in and it scans you, your memories, your traumas, the faces you've forgotten, the rooms you walked through 20 years ago, and then it builds itself out of those fragments. That's why the hallways feel familiar but wrong. That's why the furniture store keeps appearing inside. That's why you see a neighborhood street and an apartment complex that shouldn't be there. The Backrooms isn't an infinite empty space. It's a mirror. And it's reflecting back everything you've tried to bury. Now let me tell you about Parrot Clark. People are laughing at this, saying it looks goofy, saying the design is ridiculous. But those people, and I want you to really hear me here, those people don't want to see what's actually on the screen. Parrot Clark isn't a costume. He's a manifestation. Remember the therapy scene? Clark screaming at an empty chair, pretending it's his wife. The rage that came out of him, the way his therapist went quiet afterward. That wasn't acting. That was a window. And Parrot Clark, that's what lives behind that window. The blame shifting. The part of him that would rather choke a woman and tie her to a chair than admit he's the problem. Actually, let me rephrase that. The movie doesn't just suggest Clark is abusive. It shows you. The red-headed still life that runs away when Parrot Clark enters the room. That's his wife. We see her photo earlier. Red hair, same face, and Clark scalps that creature. He puts her hair on the therapist. And people are calling this movie confusing. No, they're calling it confusing because they don't want to admit they understood exactly what they just watched. And this is where I slow down for a second, because I need you to hear me clearly. Quietly, personally, there's a reason the powerful people in Hollywood, the PR machines, the festival gatekeepers, the critics who get flown out for early screenings, there's a reason they're not championing this movie. Because the Backrooms tells the truth about something they've been hiding for decades. That the spaces we think are safe, our homes, our workplaces, our own minds, can turn against us. That the people closest to us can be hiding something monstrous. And that trauma doesn't just go away. It builds hallways. It populates them with copies of itself. And eventually, you either face it, or it eats you alive. Back to normal intensity. Now watch what happens to Mary, the therapist. She grew up with a schizophrenic mother who locked her in the house. Newspaper on the windows. No school. No friends. Just concrete walls and a handprint she left in wet cement as a child. And when she finally escapes the Backrooms, when she fights Parrot Clark and breaks that concrete slab she's been carrying her whole life, what does the movie show you? Her clone, sitting in a chair, in the same room as the Async scientists. The Backrooms made a copy of her because she entered it, because her trauma walked in with her. And now Async won't let her leave. You see where this is going. You already know. The scientists aren't studying the Backrooms to help people. They're studying it because they want to control it, weaponize it. The MRI machine that opened the door, that wasn't an accident either. They've been looking for this. A way to extract memories, replicate consciousness. build spaces that respond to human fear, and the sequel they're already planning. It's not going to be about saving Mary. It's going to be about what Async does next. Here's what makes me sick. And I'm going to be honest with you because I think you deserve that. The Backrooms started as internet folklore, a creepypasta. A few paragraphs about no clipping out of reality, and then a teenager named Kane Parsons turned it into something real. Something that made millions of people feel seen in their anxiety, their loneliness, their sense that the world is full of empty hallways that look familiar but aren't safe. And now Hollywood has it. The machinery is spinning up. Sequels, merchandise, a franchise. They're going to take this honest, terrifying thing and they're going to sand off the edges. Make it fun. Sell you action figures of Parrot Clark. But the first movie, the one that's in theaters right now, that one slipped through. That one tells the truth about abuse, about trauma, about how the systems we trust, even the ones that claim to heal us, are often just building bigger rooms to trap us in. And the critics don't understand it. Or they do, and they're lying. You know which one it is. Just like I know. So here's my question to you, and I want you to really think about it before you answer in the comments. If the Backrooms is a mirror, if it shows you exactly what you've been running from, then what did Async see when they first walked in? What did they find that made them shift every resource they had into studying it? And more importantly, what are they planning to do with what they learned? You already know, don't you?